Hey everyone, welcome back to part 9 of your cloud course. I want to thank you for watching the previous 8 parts. If you guys haven't done so already, hey guys, please go down there and subscribe so you'll be notified of all the new parts coming up. Once we wrap up this cloud course, I'm moving right into a Security Plus course. Don't forget to share the videos. I'm really trying to get this information out to as many people as possible. I say it all the time. This isn't about advertising. I'm not putting advertising videos or advertisements on my videos. I am doing this to spread training to as many people as I can. And as I always say, I can't do it without you guys. And I really want to thank you for spending time with me. I know you have a busy day. You're doing a lot of stuff. And for you to take a few minutes and watch these videos, it really does mean a lot. Thank you. So we left off on part 8. We were talking about platform as a service in part 8, the final piece, right? We talked about what that was and how that was a dev environment. So very simply what that means is a cloud service provider provides a platform for a customer to develop applications. It's really that simple. Now part 9, we're going to move into the next piece of this puzzle, which is known as SaaS or SaaS, depending on how you say it. Software as a service. Software as a service, not to be confused with platform as a service. Software as a service is not about developing an application, guys. Software as a service is about taking an already completed application and then providing that application to whoever we need to access it over the internet. We call it on-demand software. Now, this can be subscription-based, right? It could be free. It could be an application, just a regular app. It could be a database. But the point is, this is not locally installed software with a subscription-based license. This is a piece of software being hosted by Amazon or Microsoft or Google, and you or a customer can access this software over the internet. That is what software as a service is. For instance, Office 365 is a software as a service cloud. So we connect to software as a service, Office 365. We can use Word and Excel and PowerPoint and Power BI and all these other things that Microsoft provides within Office 365. We do pay for that particular service, but take YouTube, for instance. YouTube is a software as a service cloud. We're connecting to it as you're doing right now, and you're watching a video. Right? There was no cost to you watching this video, unless, of course, you did the premium YouTube subscription. I'm not really sure how that works. But the point is, that's another example of software as a service. So what I need you to wrap your head around in terms of what software as a service is, guys, software as a service deals with a 100% completed application. This is not platform as a service, where we developed the application from beginning to end. We already have the application now. We, as the customer, have the application, whether we developed it or whether we purchased it. And now the provider, our cloud service provider, is going to install that software centrally within their cloud data center. And then users are able to access that application over the internet. Now, that's the catch here. You must be able to access the application over the internet in some fashion, whether you're using a web browser, right? Or whether there is a client application running on your computer that connects over the internet to the cloud-hosted application. An example of that would be, how about your Outlook client? Right? You log onto your computer, you double-click your Outlook client, it comes to life, and that goes out over the internet and connects to a Microsoft Exchange server, which gives you access to view your email box, and you can see your email. You didn't open up Firefox or Chrome or Internet Explorer or Safari or any of that to get to your mailbox. No, you opened up a client You opened up Outlook. That's another example of this. And by the way, any kind of an application can be a software as a service application. There's no limitations except the application must provide access over the internet. If this application won't allow connection over the internet using, like HTTP or HTTPS or the Simple Object Access Protocol or Security Assertion Markup Language or any of these other web-based, access we use, web-based protocols and so forth, then that application is not a candidate for software as a service, because that's how you connect to it, right? That's how you connect to it. Again, this is not locally installed software. It's installed out there in the cloud, and if I need to gain access to it, well, then I'm going to gain access to it right from my computer. Now, the other cool thing about this is, as a customer, I just say, here's my application, Amazon or Microsoft or Google. They take that application, they host it, and they're in charge of it. They handle all the maintenance of it. So if I have an update that we wrote for the application, or I got an update from the developer, I give the update to Google or Amazon or Microsoft, and they handle the maintenance or the updating of it. They also handle the support of it. Meaning Google's going to support the app, or Amazon or Microsoft will support that application. Not me, the customer. I literally just said, here is the app. They're hosting it, they're managing it, they're maintaining it, and guess what? They are also collecting the fee for it if there is a fee associated with it. Like, for instance, I want to say I spend like $10, $10.99 a month for my Office 365 account. That $10.99 goes directly to Microsoft. Microsoft manages all of the fees, right? Or if you host an application in Google, Google makes it available for monthly subscription. Somebody pays $19.99 a month to gain access to your application. Well, guess what? They're going to collect that money on your behalf. Now, they're going to pull out a service fee from it, of course. They're going to take a service fee out of that subscription to pay for all these things they're doing for you. But the end result is maybe it's $12.99 and you end up with, $7.99 a month, right? They take their little piece and then they pay you the rest. You literally are pretty much hands off to the whole process, right? Hands off. So the main advantage to you, the cloud service customer, is the fact you just purely uploaded the application, you gave it to them, and they handle it. You're hands off. Okay, you're receiving your monthly fees directly from them. If customers are having problems, they're not coming to you, they're going to the cloud service provider. The cloud service provider literally is handling everything on your behalf. And of course, they're taking a little bit of your money every month from that license fee. Right now, the other benefit, and this would be to the customer, the other benefit is they're always getting the latest and greatest version of that software. I used to hate it back in the day when, you just went out and you bought a new application, maybe you got the DVD or the CD or you downloaded it from the internet and you installed it, and 6 months later, .1.4 came out or whatever, and now you got to pay $99 for that. Used to drive me nuts. So what did you end up doing? Well, if you're like me, you didn't end up upgrading it. You just left it alone and you used it because of that ongoing cost. It got expensive. It is expensive for people. We don't worry about that in terms of software as a service from the customer standpoint, the people connecting to your app. They're always going to have the latest version of the software. As long as they pay their monthly bill, that is what they're going to be given. So that is a huge benefit as well. So remember, infrastructure as a service was hosting compute, virtual machines, networks, container applications, functions, right? Then we had platform as a service where we were, as a customer, developing applications in a fully provided dev environment. And then software as a service, we're taking an application, we're uploading it to the provider who's installing it centrally somewhere in their data center. And then users are accessing that application over the internet with some kind of a client application or a web browser. right? These are kind of the big three. Now, there are other forms of cloud services out there as well. You've got function as a service, storage as a service, info as a service, security as a service. And by the way, there's probably 100 additional out there as well. Function as a service is what I talked about in probably part 4. Function as a service was about serverless computing, right? When we were hosting functions, I gave you the example in that module, in that part, that you went to the website and you filled out a form, right? And I said to you that form is not a function. The information you put in the form is not a function. But when you click submit, what happens to all of those entries into that form? Those entries are all processed in some fashion. That is the function. So function as a service, a business requests some functionality to be available on an external service, collecting information from a form. And that information is processed by the cloud, and whatever happens with that information happens. But the business is not thinking about a server. The business is not thinking about a virtual machine. The business is not thinking about a container per se. They're just simply saying, we want this function hosted. And by the way, the cloud service customer is not billed for the hosting of that function until the actual function is accessed. Meaning if no one goes to the form, no one fills out that form, no one clicks submit, you're not being billed on a regular basis. But if someone goes to that form and fills it all out, click submit, now boom, you're being charged. Because all of the data in that form went somewhere where it's processed. So in essence, you're paying for the processing, if you will. This is function as a service, also known as serverless computing. Now, storage as a service, by the way, function as a service is FaaS, FaaS. Storage as a service, STORaaS. What is this all about? Well, there's all kinds of storage as a service, but one example would be mirroring local files and backing them up to the cloud. Maybe you've heard of the Microsoft Azure Backup product. Azure Backup backs up your local machine's data, the one right there on your desk, backs up the data on that machine, and boom, the Azure client, the Azure Backup client, the STORaaS client sends it up in encrypted form, I might add, to a cloud storage location, right? This is storage as a service. Now, you can also create, for instance, file servers and share the data from file servers, except we're not visualizing it as a file server. I'm not building a file server virtual machine. I'm uploading data into a storage as a service product, and then I can share that and make it available. Now, we also have info as a service, information as a service. This is when your organization or an organization shares or sells information about something to another company, right? You guys probably see this all the time and you don't even realize it's going on. Have you ever been to a website and maybe purchased something? And then a couple days later, a week later, you start getting inundated with email from different companies trying to sell you similar products. I don't know, you went to Amazon and you bought some kitchen equipment from Amazon.com. And a week later, you start receiving stuff from Bed Bath & Beyond and the Kitchen Store and the Gadget Man, all trying to sell you kitchen equipment. Well, let me tell you what happened. Amazon, as a company, I'm just using Amazon.com, not Amazon Cloud, just a company, Joe's Kitchens. It doesn't matter who it is. You went to Joe's Kitchens and you bought kitchen equipment. Well, what did Joe's Kitchens do? They sold your information to other interested parties via a clearinghouse. Meaning there's companies out there that go to companies and buy information about sales and customers and so forth. It's big business, billion-dollar business. right? Well, guess what? These cloud service providers will offer that as well. It's called INFOaaS as a service, right? They'll do that for you. People come to your organization in the cloud. They come to your website. They buy a bunch of products from you. What happens is the cloud service provider collects the information you want to give them and sells it to a clearinghouse, and then they give you the money for the sale of that data. And now those other companies are going to use that data, and they're going to turn around and market your customers in some fashion. That's what information as a service is. An organization shares or sells relevant information to another company or individuals to perform their business. Hey, here's a copy of all my customers from, last month. You do with them what you want, and I'm going to get a nice check from the cloud service provider. Of course, the cloud service provider is going to facilitate the exchange of that information, and they're going to get paid their little piece. Remember, guys, the cloud service provider, they're always going to get their little piece. But the benefit of this, I guess, if you think it's a legitimate way to make money, some people would say it's not, but the benefit of it is you're going to start making money above and beyond the actual sale of your products. I would argue that possibly your customers might not like that, right? All right, and then finally we have security as a service, known as SECaaS. Now, here's the thing with security as a service. The way I look at it is this, because I teach a lot of security classes, Sec Plus, CISSP, the SSCP certification, a bunch of different things. Pen Test Plus, I could go on and on, CYSA. The one thing about security is, in my opinion, every business, no matter how large or how small, has every right to use all the tools out there to be secure. They have every right to have a secure network. The problem is, with smaller companies, they just may not be able to afford it to do it properly. And that's a shame. Security professionals are very expensive. Right? If you're going to go hire 2 new employees who have CISSP certifications and they have years and years of business experience, you're going to pay for those people. And are they worth it? Of course they are. But for a small organization I can't afford to go out and hire 3 CISSPs. I can't afford to take my IT team and send them all to very expensive training. And I'm very in tune with this, guys. That's why I'm doing what you're experiencing right now. I'm doing it to make this free so people can gather some information and better themselves. So even I'm in tune to this. Okay? So security as a service, what is it? We are utilizing the secure infrastructure at Amazon or Microsoft or IBM or HP or Google, kind of the big 5, if you will. We're using their built-in security apparatus and their built-in security functions and built-in security tools and built-in security consulting, and we are paying monthly for them to provide to us the configurations and the security that we need. In essence, they're our security consultant. They have tons of people that are highly certified in all disciplines of security. They know defense in depth, inside out, as it pertains to traditional data centers and to cloud data centers. They know the CIA triad as the goals of security: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Hey guys, stay tuned. I'm going to do a Security Plus class when I'm done this one. We're going to do Security Plus from beginning to end, and after it's over, with my study guide that I'm going to make available to everybody, you can go out and take your Security Plus exam. Okay, by the way, with this, when I'm done with my cloud course, I'm going to make available to everybody a cloud study guide so you can take your CompTIA Cloud Plus exam. Okay, so I'm going to make all that available to you. Again, subscribe so you know about this stuff and go back and watch the other parts. But that's what security as a service is. A tool or a platform that controls security access to applications and services and products, and the cloud service provider is going to offer all this protection for all of your data, all of your applications, anything running in the cloud. They're giving it to us. They're in essence becoming a consultant. Now, this is not something that you would have to use if you already have very secure minded and trained people in your organization. Then, frankly, you shouldn't be doing this. You should be securing your own virtual environment. Remember, the cloud service provider will secure the physical environment with or without you. It doesn't matter. The cloud service customer, you, me, it's up to us to secure our virtual environments, our applications, etc. That's on us. But if we don't have the staff with the training or the knowledge or the know-how, that doesn't mean that we don't have a right to security. We're just going to have to pay for it. And that is what security as a service is. Well, guys, that was part number 9. When we come back in part number 10, we're going to talk about cost and ownership associated with this. Because after all, saving money is one of the primary reasons why companies, both large and small, flock to the cloud. So we're going to dive into that in a little bit more detail. I'll see you back here on the next one. I really want to thank you for hanging out with me and choosing to spend some time with me. I really appreciate it. I know this world, we're all busy. We have life, we have things to do. And it really does, make me very happy that you would choose to spend some time with me. Don't forget, guys, please like the video, ask questions in the comments, share the video, and of course, become a subscriber so you'll know about all the stuff I'm making available. I want to thank you, and I'll see you on the next one.